Hello everyone, thanks for pressing play. Welcome to an episode of Small Talk, where in this episode we are going to be taking a look at the top 10 graphic novels of 2014, presented by my man Randy here.
And as read by me.
Exactly.
So this is not just anything that's out there. Let me give you a couple of qualifiers for anybody who didn't see our last year's video on this. For me, it has to be original content.
Okay.
And it has to be something that collects old or out of print material, not something that just collected within the last year or two.
Right.
That's you know, you could have picked it up off the shelf and you didn't, you were lazy, whatever.
Right.
Or you missed out and got it. So those are my qualifiers. Let's dive in.
That
here.
works, yeah.
Number 10 for me is, I'll hand this over to you, Usagi Jimbo, Saga Book 1. Why did I like this? It's a great collection of the early Usagi series here. While it's fun and fast to read, it is a bit of a downer because it does not have about the first 8 or 9 books. Those all belong to Fantagraphics, not Dark Horse. You can still collect it, though, and get caught up to this point. It also has the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles within it.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice!
Also, this is a 600-page paperback, and so it's a little bit frightening for me because you live in constant fear of the glued binding coming loose on something this big. But good book there. Love it.
Very cool.
Next up for me, number 9, is Corto Maltese, Under the Sign of Capricorn. This is by Hugo Pratt. It's a great collection of stories that are about a scoundrel, an adventurer, and pretty much a wanderer with a heart of gold.
Okay.
And it collects 6 of the graphic novels. He was the father of the graphic novel. From early on in, I think, the late 60s to early 70s is where it first started.
Okay.
And Corto often seems a lot more at ease with, natives than he does with his own people. That's one of the things you kind of find out about his character there. It's beautifully executed, great translation with it, but again, it's a hardcover, and with the really stiff covers there, it's another thing of living in fear of the glue. So,
yeah.
Just something that leaves a little bit to be desired for me.
Very nice.
Next up, we get into some hardcovers here. The ones that look beautiful and are beautiful. District 14 Season 2. For those of you who remember, Season 1 was my favorite last year.
Right.
This is another great story, but there's a little bit that I had a problem with this one. Even though it was fantastic, they almost were trying to tell too many stories at once. Okay. And so the juggling there, I would have preferred almost if they had split it into 2 books instead of having it all in this one story there. So even though I loved it and it was great as a follow-up, just a little too much for me. So it wasn't further down on my list like it probably could have been.
Yeah.
Number 7 is Wallace Wood story Canon. This is the gritty and uncensored newspaper strip that was in the military newspaper Overseas Weekly during the early 1970s. Okay. It spans from ultra-violent to romance within this. There are guns and naked women on pretty much every single page. You're giving your audience of the servicemen pretty much what they want or something like that. The art is beautiful, and it's very much so a soap opera. Constant changing asides and everything. Canon is this U.S. super spy who has been brainwashed so many times. It's kind of hard for him to really know who he is exactly. Yeah. But awesome stuff. Wallace Wood.
Very cool.
Number 6. I could not do a graphic novel list without having something from Gilbert Hernandez. Okay. I go with Bumperhead here. There were a couple of really good ones from him this year. Bumperhead is this story about Bobby. He is a teen that just kind of lets life pass him by during the 1970s. He has a passion for rock and roll, specifically punk music, but he has no passion for life. Okay. So you kind of get this lackadaisical sense of everything. It's very much so an existential kind of story with it, with a lot of magic realism in there. Mm-hmm. It's 1970s, but a character carries around an iPad that tells stuff about the future that's happening now. So something impossible, but it's there among it. Okay, one quick second. Sure. His name, the main character is Bobby? Bobby. Bumperhead. Is this Bobby? That's Bobby. Okay, does this looks like Bobby from King of the Hill. There we go. Bobby. Oh, the next one is a heavy one. What the world? And this is one of them why we did not do our video sooner, because Moomin, the deluxe anniversary edition, I was waiting for it to come in here. Okay. beautifully bound, and it has a slipcover here, hardcover with slipcover case. And Moomin is a story about this very aloof family of, I'm not sure what they are. They look kind of like hippos, something. We're not, they don't specifically say. But the family loves to have adventures. Very lighthearted. The art screams all ages, but the story is very European, in which they may have some content that those of us overseas or over here in the U.S. might question a little bit for our young children reading. So flip through it, check and see. It's nothing that's too gory or there's none of that. It's just some subject matter that you might go, oh, he just talked about we haven't killed anybody today. I mean, it's him all in jest. But it's still something like that you don't want to have to explain that to your kid. Right. But this was I think from a London paper back in the 70s, or that this first or when it finally ended. But I think it's over. It's very old. Brad can tell us how old.
Oh, okay. Very cool.
Old stuff, good stuff. Next up for me, fun stuff.
Fun stuff.
Number 4 is The Musical Monsters of Turkey Hollow.
Ah.
It's a book that oozes Jim Henson, as it should, because it was Jim Henson. And it screams Roger Langridge, and it should, because he's the one that adapted and drew this series here. Yeah, definitely. This is an unaired 1968 special from Jim Henson.
Okay.
And the story revolves around a young boy and girl that find this group of monsters that are able to communicate through music notes.
Okay.
So singing songs, lots of that. And there's this cantankerous old man who is bound and determined to catch the monsters, show that they exist, and to capture the land from these kids and their grandmother.
Okay.
Fun.
That's nice. Very nice.
And I kind of lied, because Bumperhead's not the existential story. That would be number 3, Escapo.
Escapo.
This is a book that starts off with a very graphic bang. You have to be careful with that. And it follows Escapo, who is this circus escape artist, and constantly is cheating death. But the existential part comes in that he's very comfortable with the fact that one day he will meet his own demise, death. Okay. It's from the 1999 story by Paul Pope. So this is one of his early works that's been recollected in this awesome hardcover.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah, definitely. Couldn't go through this without having some Paul Pope in there.
This cover is very, very David Mack.
Yeah, I can see something like that.
It's Temple
very
Smith,
modern style art.
Very cool.
This next one is another reason why we didn't do this sooner. This is massive.
It is massive.
How awesome is this? This is from a Kickstarter program that this comic shop in Philadelphia put together. It's Little Nemo, Dream Another Dream. It's a collection of over 100 talented artists that are paying tribute to Winsor McCay's century-old Sunday newspaper strip. So that is like the original size of what the original newspaper strips were. Wow. And beautiful detail put into every single page. Tons of love in this. It's absolute pure delight to look at and to read. The artist, be it the artist actually giving their version of Winsor McCay's story about Little Nemo, or they are paying homage with a character of theirs, like Mike Allred has a madman kind of in a Little Nemo type story. Wonderful, loved it. I'm still in the process of reading it, but everything that I've read has just been fantastic.
And this was a Kickstarter?
This was a Kickstarter, and it cost some money to get a hold of that.
Bro. I can only imagine.
That is huge.
That is awesome.
What could possibly be my number 1 favorite graphic novel this year? Why, that would be the story, The Gigantic Beard That Was Evil.
That was evil.
Nobody likes change. That is especially true of the people of here. They're very comfortable in their daily lives and routines. Okay. And they do not like what lies overseas, which is there. Total disorder. Okay. Do not like it. Dave is one of the residents of here. And Dave is completely without hair, save for one protruding, curling hair on his lip. Okay. And the story's going fine until one day Dave wakes up and his beard is uncontrollably growing. And so he and the people of here must face the ramifications of this gigantic evil beard. Evil by their standards.
Evil by their standards.
So, such a delight. Wonderful, wonderful, good book right there. So those are my top 10.
Top 10.
Top 10. Tell me what you think. If you've read any of these, if you have some thumbs up, if you read them and went, I don't know if I agree with that one so much.
Yeah.
Let me know. Let me know what if you've made a top 10 for graphic novels here. Exactly. If you read that many graphic novels.
Exactly. I honestly don't. So this is definitely the task and a great job for Randy, because he experiments and reads a lot of that type of stuff. And this was great, man. That Nemo is huge. It's a huge book. So, but guys, that's it. That's your top 10 graphic novels of 2014 from Randy. So tell us in the comments below what you liked, what you got, what you agree with, what you disagree with. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe. We'll see you in our next video.
I approve this message.
I approve this message.